Yes, good afternoon, YouTubers. I'm back. Yo.
When I watched video on that day that I wasn't here, I just wanted to tell you that it's a lot funnier just with the person did that and you can't hear all of us talking. It's really hilarious.
Oh, okay.
It was really good.
Thanks.
So enthusiastic comedy.
Well, that's why it has been categorized as comedy.
Is it actually?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. If you go onto my screen, don't look.
I couldn't read it.
And you click on one of the videos. Category, comedy. Right there. Not education, not math, comedy. It's hurtful, I tell you. It's not really, I don't care. Okay, so, yes, TJ. Yes, I'm well aware of that because, TJ, I have yet to have a day when I am comfortable with you guys being able to do math. And I just marked a test, and you can, as soon as I give it back, you will see why I am not wasting class time with the riddle from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If it is that important to you, feel free to solve it. Great. Write it up and hand it in to me. And maybe that will help. Okay. All right. Slope. Here we go. We know a whole bunch of stuff about slope. What do we know about slope? I got slope equals. So what does slope equal? Then there's a blank. Fill in the blank. What are some things that we know are slope?
Rise over run.
We know slope is rise over run. What else do we know?
There's positive and negative slopes.
Excellent. Rise over run. Rises can be positive or negative, and runs can be positive or negative. Excellent. What else do we know about slopes?
It is M. MX. M.
It is M. Slope also equals M. Do we know anything else about slopes yet?
No.
Excellent. Let us do some work with it. I am going to use 4 different colors to do this job. You are going to use whatever your writing utensil is. E, we are going to put in this section. Every single person put a dot somewhere in this area. Do not put it where mine is. Put a random dot there now. I'm not going to put a dot until I see 20 pencils go boink and stop. Now, label your dot with its coordinates. I am going to put my dot out and label it in a moment when I see all of you label yours, so you have actually done this and not copied me. Awesome, possums. I am putting my dot there. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is -8, 2. Yeah? Yeah. Now, with your pen, make a line segment with that slope. It tells you. You need to rise over run. Which is rise, which is run? Wrong. Rise is 2. How do I rise 2 from that point? I go up 2. Then I need to go where? Why right? Because 5 is positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for me, that point is -3, 4. Agreed? And that is my line. Will your line match up exactly with my line? the chances are very slim. But will your line have a rise of positive 2 and a run of positive 5? Yes. Everybody good? All right. Now, let us do F over here. Do the exact same thing. Choose a point, label it, draw the slope. Go. Yes, for F. Is everybody Gouda? Describe to me, using words, the difference in the slopes. What would you say about that slope comparing it to that slope? There's no right or wrong answer. Steepness. Which one would you consider to be the steeper slope? The red one. Excellent. And he had a slope of -4, yes? The black one has a slope that is a fraction. You will notice it is much smaller, less steep. Does everybody understand? So what does that tell you? Before you even draw it, will H be closer to straight up and down or closer to flat? 2/5, 4. What will H be? More up and down. And 0 will be, which is? Up and down is 0? Flat. Excellent. So I'm going to use blue to do G. It's going to be right there, flat, because of course I had 0 up and down divided by whatever I went on my run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I happen to go 6. And the last one, which was 7, I choose a point. Ah! 7. 7 over 1. So where do I go? Up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then what?
Over 1.
Don't say over.
To the left.
Right 1. Why is it right? Because it's positive. Good job, team. And notice it is significantly steeper than this one. What does the positive and negative affect? Does it affect the steepness? I know, that's why I asked it. Does positive and negative affect the steepness? No. What does it affect?
The way the slope goes.
The way it leans, right? Excellently done. So, everybody should be able to figure out a slope, yes? All right. This first one, we chose the point, we chose the second point, and we got to it by counting the slopes, yes? The rise, then the run. All right. Now, look at number 2. I'm going to zoom in on it. While I'm zooming in, I want you to look at what makes number 2 different. I'm going to use 2 different colors again. I'm going to make a red line. I'm going to make a blue line. What is different about number 2 than number 1? Nick. You don't get to pick where you start. You're told where to start, right? Okay, so let's do that for the red one. Everybody put a dot at -5, -3. Somebody tell me where to move my pen to get to that point. Tasha.
Oh, sorry. I mean, move over to the left 5.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then where?
Go up 3.
Up.
Down. Sorry.
1, 2, 3. Everybody agree? Great. Now I need the second dot. Where's it?
You go to your right 5.
To right, 1 up. Agreed? Now I want the slope. How do I find it? Connect them. And do what? What is slope? What is slope? Rise over run. So I rise how far? 4. And I run how far? 7. Are they both positive? So the slope is positive 4/7. Does everybody understand? What if I go the other way? -4 and then this way. -7. -4 over -7. 2 negatives make a positive, so therefore the slope is the same. Everybody Gouda. Excellent. Now I'm going to erase all my slope calculations because it makes it busy. And now let's do the blue one. 0, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 3. 1, 2, 3. There is a slope. What is it? It's undefined. It is infinite. Because my rise was +7, but my run was 0. 7 over 0 is not allowed. It is undefined. Is everybody good with number 2? So now, according to you guys, you all can choose a random point and use slope to get to a second point on the line and then connect it. Yes? That was number 1. In number 2, when I gave you 2 points, you were able to find the slope between them. Yes? Excellent. Both of these methods they shared one thing in common. What was it? What did both of these methods, 1 and 2, use? You guys are looking at your page. Something was the same on both of them. You had to draw a graph. When you have a graph, how do you find slope? What do you do? How can you find slope? You just did it 6 times. And all of you told me you understood. What do you mean by rise over run? Counting. Thank you. By counting vertically, then horizontally to make the fraction rise over run. If you have a graph, you always can find the slope by counting. Everybody good? The last time you said everybody good, I asked people to write a sentence about it and nobody could. So I think you might be lying to me. I'm going to ask again. Is everybody good? You can all count on a graph. Up is rise. If you go up, what is your rise? Positive. If you go down, what is your rise? Negative. If you go left and right, that is the run. If you go right, you have run positively. If you go left, you have run negatively. Excellent. Now, what is different in K and L? There's no graph. You could make one, but why? Because is slope not rise over run? Right? So slope equals rise over run, correct? What axis measures rise? Y or X? Y. What axis measures run? X. So if I am going to rise, does that not mean there must be a difference between my Y's? Right? If I'm going to rise, one Y is at one point and the next Y is at another point, isn't it? Okay. So what math shows me difference? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. What math shows me difference? Subtraction. So, if there's going to be a rise, there must be a difference in my y's, correct? So it's y minus y. But if I write y minus y, what's that answer? 0. Why is it 0, Jack? Because I have one y and it says I'm taking away y. That's not what we do. I don't want it to be 0, so we add these little symbols, 2 and 1. That says one of the y coordinates and the other y coordinate have a difference. Now you guys are smart kids. What's the run? It would be x minus x, but I can't do x minus x, so it must be x2 minus x1. Everybody with me? Now you guys are smart kids. How many x's and y's do you see here? 2 x's, 2 y's, correct? How many x's and y's do you see here? 2 x's, 2 y's. What's going on here? Is that a y? Okay. Is that a y? I lost my red dot. Are those both y's? So one of them must be y2 and one of them must be y1, right? Who do you think decides? You do, because you're doing the work. So which one do you want to make y2? Does it matter? No, choose one. Don't say it out loud. Choose one. Has everybody got it chosen? Label it. I am going to say this guy is y2, which makes this guy y1. You guys may have reversed it. Don't change it if you have it opposite to me. Okay? If this is y2, then what must this guy be? x2. Which means what must this guy be? x1. Now you might have it reversed, correct? Okay, don't tell me if you did or not. Just do the work. y2, for me, that's 1 minus y1, 7, over x2, negative 6, minus 2. 1 minus 7 is negative 6. Negative 6 minus 2 is negative 8. 2 negatives make a positive. 6 over 8 makes 3/4. If you reversed it, you got the same number, didn't you? Right? Now, watch. We had 2, don't write this down, 2, 7, and negative 6, 1, correct? 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Agreed? Yep. Negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Agreed? There's the line. Agreed? Yep. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slope was 6 over 8 without a graph. Does everybody see?
Yeah.
Does it matter which one you make x1 and y1?
No.
No. As long as you remember that if you make this guy y2, that makes that guy x2. If you mess that up, you're going to get it wrong. Everybody cool?
Yeah.
Now, if you write it out, is it possible to do this wrong? You get a calculator and you get all the information. Is it possible to do this wrong? If you write it out. No. Which one of these? I'm going to pick one person in here. Who would like to say yes or no right now? All you got to do is say yes or no. Who has the guts? Well done, Jack. Can I make this y2? Is Jack right?
No.
Why is Jack wrong?
Because that's an X.
Because that's an x value. Understand? Can I make this guy y1? Can I? Okay. So if that guy is y1, what does that automatically make that guy? x1. What does that automatically make that guy? y2. What does that automatically make that guy? x2. Can I find the slope now? Yes or no? Yes, because slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What is y2? 4. What is y1? 15. Over. What is x2? Negative 1. Minus. What is x1? Negative 5. What is 4 minus 15? Negative 11. If you can't do that, what tool do you have to help you? Your calculator. What is negative 1 minus negative 5? Positive 4. And there is your slope. Can everybody find slope on a graph now? How do we find slope on a graph? You count. How do we find slope if we don't have a graph? You do algebra. Everybody good? Okay. Look at A, B, C, D. Are these graphed? Excellent. So are we counting or are we doing y2, y1, x2, x1? We're counting. Great. So we can go end to end, right? Look at A. Tell me why we cannot find slope using the two ends. Look close. They're not at coordinates, are they? Do you know that guy's exact x and y coordinate? No. So that's one more wrinkle. To count, we need exact coordinates, don't we? Is there a point anywhere on A where you can get exact coordinates? Oh, sorry, what if? I thought you were answering my question. What if what, Sam?
What if you'd already gone ahead and just done it where you thought it was, I thought you just messed up and not gone from
Then you'd have it wrong.
Okay.
And for the millionth time, I would tell you, stop going ahead. Because obviously, every time I do a new question, there's a new wrinkle. Right? That's the whole point of them. Where can I go on here to find an exact point? Tell me when I can stop. Stop. There's a point right there. What is that point? Does it matter? No, because we're going to count, aren't we? Is there another point? Tell me when I can stop. Right there. What is the rise and the run? What is my rise? 3. What is my run? Negative 1. Does everyone agree? So that guy's slope would be negative 3. Correct? Now let me ask you this. Should you pick, to get a better answer, should you pick points close together or further apart? do you think?
Closer together.
I haven't told you the right answer. I'm asking you what you think. Should we check further along? Jack? It should be the same answer either way, shouldn't it? So let's check. Is there another point on here that you think might work? Tell me when to stop. So now, if we have done this right, the red triangle should be the same, shouldn't it? So I'm going to do on the other side so it's not as confusing. So I'm going to do my rise first. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Agreed? -7. How far this way? 2. +2. Were they the same? No. Which one do you think is probably more accurate? The red or the blue? The red. Everybody cool? Right? Because if I'm a millimeter off measuring from me to Carlos, if I'm a millimeter off that straight line, will I still hit Carlos? If I'm a millimeter off perfect? Yeah, I'll still hit him. I might hit him slightly off to the side, but I'll hit him, right? What if I go 1,000,000 kilometers that way and I'm a millimeter off? Am I going to hit my target? No. Everybody understand? Cool? Okay. So, we don't even need to talk about C and D, do we? What's C? 7 over 0, which is undefined. And what's D? Zero over 6, which is no. I have no pizza in front of me. Let's divide it up. How much pizza do you get? None. So that is a 0 slope. Everybody cool? Everybody good? Okay. Now I have already shown you mathematically why this works. We can't divide by 0. But I feel I owe you guys the explanation of really why this is the case. So here is a calculator, yes? If I was doing rise over run, and I rose 1, agreed? The slope would be 1 divided by something, right? A run, yes? If I moved a millimeter to the right, a millimeter, that's 1,000th of 1, right? So it would be 1 divided by 0.001. Oh, I did 2 divided bys. Does everybody understand? Looking at the screen. I go up 1 and I went over just a millimeter. So my rise is 1, my run is 1/1000th, right? Look at the answer. That is 1,000 of a slope, right? What if I go another decimal place? 1 divided by a 10,000th. Then it's the slope of 10,000. What if I go 1 divided by a millionth? What's my slope going to be? 1,000,000. Do you see what is happening? So if I do 1 divided by a ton of zeros and 1, my slope's going to be billions, correct? So 1 divided by 0 is technically 1 divided by infinity, which would be a number that we cannot comprehend. That is why it is undefined. Does everybody get it? Cool. So you guys try to do B. Tell me what the slope of B is. You've got some tools to do that now. Let's see what you get. I'm going to wait a little bit while you decide, and then I'm going to ask for some volunteers, because I always get different answers on this one. Would anybody like to volunteer their B one now? Oh, yeah, I'll wait. No rush. Got nothing but time. Any volunteers?
I have a question. Actually.
Sure.
You want me to say it now?
Yeah.
Okay. What way are we supposed to like count it from? Because like,
Doesn't matter.
if I I'm measuring like down like.
So that if you're going down, you have a negative rise.
So that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah, am I still gonna get the same answer?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll show you right now. I'll prove it to you in 1 second. Jack, do you have an answer for me?
Yeah.
What do you think the slope of B is?
0.45.
0.45 repeating. Okay, that's so. Is that rise over run?
That's right.
That's 45 over 99. Is that okay? How did you get 0.45 repeating? You had to do some division. What did you divide?
The rise by
The rise by the run. So what was your rise?
5,
And what was your run?
11.
11. So Jack found 2 points that he feels were up 5 and right 11. Or down 5 and left 11. Yes? I am going to bet that Jack used that point right there above the B and that point right there. And then he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Positive 5, positive 11, which he then recognized was rise over run, a rise of positive 5 over a run of positive 11, which he then took the next step because, yes, 5 over 11 is the slope, but so is the decimal that goes with that, which is 0.45 repeating. Well done. Now, to answer Tasha's question, what if you started here? You went down 5, negative 5, and then you went left 11. Negative 5 divided by negative 11, 2 negatives make a positive, so it would still be 0.45 repeating. Everybody cool? Now, Jack, can I ask why you chose that far away? Why didn't you use this point and this point?
Because I chose that because it's bigger and you know better which way.
Right. If you use these, you have 1/2, don't you? 1/2 is pretty close to 0.45,
But it isn't.
right? But if you chose those and showed me rise of 1, run of 2, what do I give you? Do you think?
Half a mark or no marks.
On the scale of 1 to 4, does this show basic understanding of the concept? Yes. Does it show an advanced understanding of the concept? No, because of what I just said, right? If I aim at Carlos with a laser beam and I want to hit him right on the end of his nose and I'm a millimeter off, then I'm going to hit him right here, aren't I? But that same laser beam would go on forever if Carlos wasn't there, right? If I was a millimeter off and I wanted to hit Carlos' nose 1,000,000 kilometers away, would I hit his nose? No, I'd be way off. Understand? The bigger spread you can use, the more accurate your answer will be. Got it? Kind of like in statistics, right? If I asked you guys, how many people in this room like pineapple on a pizza? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 4, 7. Another 5 is 12. Another 6 is 18. And another 5 is 23. 7 out of 23, right? Agreed? Okay. Now, if I went by that, that would mean 1/4 of every pizzas I make should have pineapple on them. Does that make sense?
No.
No, it doesn't, because how many people are there in the world? Billions. So if I asked just you guys, and I was going to have pizza toppings in my food truck, 7 out of 23 people want pineapple. Should I have it?
You should have it, but it doesn't mean you should be making it.
There you go. Everybody good? All right. If you really understand this, you should be able to do number 4 without talking to me. Draw a triangle in which all 3 sides have a positive slope. Go. You draw it right on your piece of paper. Of course, there's an infinite amount of answers. In order to draw a triangle, I must draw 3 lines, correct? In order to draw 3 lines, I must draw 1 line, correct? Great. So how do I make a positive sloped line starting from there? Up and or? Up and right or?
Up and up. Rise and up. Straight. Or right.
So, see, this is what I like. All of you tell me you understand it, and then when I ask you to use it, none of you can. How do I make a positive slope from that dot? Everybody says I can go up and right. Great. I rise up and I run positive. How else can I do it? Down and thank you. I could also go down and left. Excellent. Now I need another line, right? Now with this red one, we're going up and right. Agreed? Okay. So if I go up and right, am I over there? Am I okay? And then if I connect them, is that guy also up and right? Is that guy okay? Now let's do this one. Down and left. Down and left. Is that okay? Then I connect them. Is that guy okay? Yes. Yes, TJ. Okay. Everybody good? Is this okay? Is this guy allowed? No, why? That guy's slope is negative. Everybody cool? Sweet! All right, now we are going to do a little bit of work. We're going to do the first one. Asks you specifically to use x and y intercepts. What do we know about x and y intercepts? What is every x-intercept from 2 days ago when we studied this? Every x-intercept is x0, isn't it? What's every y-intercept? 0y. If x is x, then what do I put right there? X is x, so what do I put right there? X. I have 3x minus y is 0. So what do I put there? 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 8 equals 0. Correct? Everyone agree? There's my x. There's my x. There's my y. There's my y. Now, what happens to 2 times 0? It cancels out. Why? Because 2 times 0 is 0. 3 minus 0. 3x minus 0 is still 3x, isn't it? So I have 3x plus 8, correct? Equals 0. What's my goal? I need x alone. How do I do that? Minus 8. 3x equals negative 8. X equals negative 8 over 3. Everybody cool? Now, if that's my x, what can I write right there? Negative 8 over 3. So the point on the graph would be negative 8/3, comma 0. Everyone agree? Great. Now let's do the same thing for the y. The x is now 0, correct? So it's 3 times 0 minus 2 times y plus 8 equals 0. What happens to this? Cancels out. So I've got negative 2y plus 8 equals 0. How do I solve that? Minus 8 minus 8. Negative 2y equals negative 8. Now what? Divide by negative 4. What does y equal? No.
No, wait. You said divide.
I said divide by negative 4 because the answer is positive 4. Right? So if that is y, then what could I write right there? 4. So what is my ordered pair? 0, 4. Now let's put them on the graph. Why is this difficult to put on the graph? Because it's a fraction. How can I put that on the graph to make it easy for myself? Change the values of the x's, right? If I go 1, 2, 3 and make that 1, then that's 3/3, isn't it? And how many thirds do I need to go? 8. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is 6, 7, 8. There is my first dot. Is everyone agree? Because I changed the scale. Now we're in trouble though, aren't we? Because I need this one to be 4. If I keep that same scale, I would need to go up 12, wouldn't I? Does my graph go up 12? No. So what do I got to do to my y scale? I got to leave it alone. Everybody understand? Yes, as long as you label it. So if I put a 1 right there for the y's, am I okay? So where does that dot go? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is everybody cool? I need everybody to be cool to there, because something weird is about to happen. Is everybody good? It's just basic algebra. You understand x, 0, 0, y. Everyone's cool? Okay, now, we have a graph, don't we? Which means if I asked you for the slope, we should be able to find it by counting, shouldn't we? Can we? Why not? Because I have 2 different scales. If your x and y's aren't the same, you can't count. Okay? So slope here, slope is not, I'm going to use the word countable, even though it's not really a word, because x and y have different scales. Does everybody understand? If we were to count it, it would be 4 over 8, which would be 1/2, wouldn't it? But it's not. My rise is 4, but my run is 8/3. Right? Which isn't a slope of 1/2. Is everybody cool? Okay. I'm going to do one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up and let you guys work. As soon as the computer lets me. All right. We are going to do this work in 2 ways. We are going to do it graphically, and we are going to do it with algebra. Algebraically. We're going to start with the graph. What on here can I put on a graph right now? Can I put a point at 2, 6? Excellent. Where would that be, Nick? 2 right and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Does everyone agree? Everyone cool? I'm going to zoom in a little to make this a little easier to see. Everyone's okay with that? Now, I know that this line goes to somewhere where x is -4, correct? Where is x -4? Take me to x is -4.
Over to the left.
1, 2, 3, 4. So somewhere on this line There's another dot, isn't there? Because I know it's at negative 4. But I don't know what the y value is, do I? But I know the slope, don't I? What is slope? 2 over 1, because it's rise over run, correct? So I got to get from this point to this line with a slope of 2 over 1. So how do I do it? Do I go up or down? If I go down 2 and left 1, am I getting closer to this line? And that's my goal, isn't it? So I go, where now from here? Down 2 and left 1. Am I getting closer? Then where? Down 2 and left 1. Then where? Down 2, left 1. Then where? Down 2, left 1. Then where? Down 2, left 1. Am I there? What is my y value? Negative 6. Can everybody do that with the graph? Everybody? Okay. I want you to try that with the next one. Just the graphical side. So put your point on it, find out where you got to go, and count. Is everybody able to get at least to here? I chose a point, and I know my other point is going to be down here at y equals negative 4. Is everybody good? Now I know my slope is negative 3/2. So that means down and left will be negative. Down is negative, left is negative. Two negatives make a... So I must go down and right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Am I closer? Yes. Am I there? No. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Closer? Not there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Am I there? I already have the y value as negative 4. What's my x value? What is it? 5. Can everybody do it with the graph? Yeah? All right. Now let's go back up and let's do this algebraically, like in math class. What do we know when we have a slope and 2 points? What does m equal? But I have 2 points now, guys. I don't have the graph. We just did it today already, like 10 minutes ago. y2 minus over. Now, who decides which is which? We're doing number 6, algebra. Who decides which is which? You do. So, I'm going to make this guy what? Y?
X2.
X2. So what does that make the 6? Y2, which makes that guy what? X1 and Y1. Now fill this in. The slope is 2 over 1. So what do I write here? 2 over 1 equals, what's Y2? What's Y2? 6 minus what's Y1? Y over what's X2? 2 minus negative 4. Tidy this up. 2 over 1 equals 6 minus Y over, what's 2 minus minus 4? 6. Now in algebra, what are we allowed to do whenever we see a fraction? Fraction equals fraction. What are we always allowed to do? Say it again and loud and proud, Nick. Cross multiply. What is 1 times 6 minus y? 6 minus y equals, what is 6 times 2? 12. What's your job whenever you see that? Get y by itself, right? So, what do I got to do with that 6? Minus 6 minus 6. So negative y equals, what is 12 minus 6? 6. Agreed?
And then you divide by negative.
How do I get rid of the negative? I divide by negative 1, so y equals negative 6. And didn't y equal negative 6? Everybody see how to do it? You can do it with a graph, or you can do it with algebra, correct? So you guys are smart kids. What do I want you to do here? We just did it with a graph. Do it with algebra. I'll start you off. Oops, I wrote that backwards because I'm an idiot. Do you have y's and x's? Yep. Do you have a slope? Yep. Go. If you're completely stuck, try it. If you're done with number 7, you think you have an answer, your homework tonight is going to be 8 and 9, done graphically and algebraically, and then the next couple of pages of text work. So you can go ahead if you want. Is that enough time? Has everybody attempted it? Okay, so if you've attempted it, I'm going to go ahead and write it out correctly here. What is our slope? Negative 3 over 2. Agreed? Okay. What is our y2? Have we written that out yet? If we write it out, we can't do it wrong, correct? So what am I going to make this guy? You want to make him y2? No problem. So what does that make this guy? y1. What does that make this guy? x2. What does that make this guy? x1. Now we fill it in. y2, we said was 5 minus 4 over negative 1 minus x. Does everyone agree? Tidy it up. Negative 3 over 2 equals 9 over negative 1 minus x, right? Fraction equals fraction. What am I allowed to do? Cross multiply. What is 2 times 9? 18 equals, what's negative 3 times negative 1? Positive 3. What's negative 3 times negative x? Positive 3x. What's your job whenever you see that? Isolate the variable. How am I going to get rid of that 3? That 3 right there. Minus 3. Where else? So 15 equals 3x. How am I going to get rid of that 3? Divide by 3. Where else? What is 15 divided by 3? 5 equals x. Did 5 equal x? So we can now do slope questions 2 ways. Is everybody cool? The whole point of this lesson is this. Are those X's and Y's? Are those X's and Y's? Can I take those numbers and put them there? Yes. Whenever I want. Everybody cool? All right. Your job, once again, is you do exactly what we just did for 8 and 9. Figure it out on the graph. Figure it out algebraically. And then you do page... Oops, I'm still on highlighter mode. Page 188. Yeah? Yeah. And we'll go over your test tomorrow because there's only 15 minutes left in class. Or I can go over your test right now, and then you guys have more homework. It's your call. Tomorrow? Done. I couldn't be happier with you guys. That was a good class. I really enjoyed that. Everybody participated. Everybody did something right.
Could you give me my score for my test review? Because I've read it for my test.
Uh-huh.